sound playing in the background. Huh? What? I just said that. And does look like YouTube is YouTubing. Yep. So we are live. Welcome, everyone, to the Foolish Tech Show. 1 second while I throw this audio off so it doesn't continue to mess me up today. We are here to provide support and answer any questions about our products and services, and otherwise we're just going to randomly blather on about random blathering stuff. So if you'd like to join our conversation and take part in our awesome show here, you can jump over to our IRC channel and join our chat at foolishtechshow.com or foolishit.com/live. And we have a few different ways that you can join our chat if you want to do it embedded in a new window or your own IRC client. Any of those ways works. And you can even direct our conversation from here. So looks like we got Futures Tech Nell, Phoenix, RTM Tech, and Shook all in there. So welcome all of y'all. It is a Friday evening and I'm finally back home. So I've seen all of the US and I'm done with it and ready to
You're done with it
for a while. So yeah.
I bet you got lots of stories.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Lots of interesting things. Having seen most all of the states, I think now I only have about 5 or 6 states that I haven't been to. So out of all of those, it just confirmed my belief that Colorado is the place to be. So the places I haven't been yet are going to be the Northeast, so above New York State. I've been to New York and everything south, but nothing in that Northeast corner there. California, South Dakota, and Alaska. So I doubt any of those are going to beat it, except for maybe California. But California's price of living is so ridiculous that it just fails automatically from that, I feel. But how's everybody else's Friday doing? Looks like Phoenix has started throwing a whole bunch of links in there. Proctor, how's your day? Tang? Michael, are you done with your shower yet?
Actually, he's on a tech support call that he forgot to turn the queue off.
I'm doing well.
Oh no, RTM Tech Twitch is buffering. It looks okay on mine. I guess it's those internet tubes are congested. Hey, Phoenix. So let's see. Phoenix has started us off with a bunch of links here, so let's see what he's got for it.
Thanks for helping out, Phoenix, yesterday. I know I didn't get to a lot of your links, but appreciate you helping out yesterday.
Awesome. So
I had the show by myself, so it was kind of Tank was there.
Oh wow!
But I had the show by myself with little prep, so.
It's fun, isn't it? Just jumping right into it.
Yeah.
So the first one he points out is Firefox's 49 Simplify Page Improves Printing. I really haven't had a need to print out web pages a lot anymore. Or do y'all find the same, or is this really a feature that like needed to be implemented? I know that like way back in days past of like frames when they were first coming out and trying to print out a web page like that was fairly difficult, but I really don't print out web pages anymore. Like I would actually feel bad if I printed out web pages, I think. Like the most I would probably do is save to PDF, but that would I don't do that. Like who does that? Like I guess if you want to read the internet while you're out camping, maybe you print out a bunch of web pages so you can browse online. What are you doing while you're camping? Just reading up on the latest web that I printed out before leaving.
Seems like it would just be easier to buy a newspaper.
Maybe. I don't think they make those anymore, though.
Yeah, they still do.
No, I'm joking.
Some magical lands.
Oh, I don't want to leave anybody out yesterday. I got a lot of help from everybody in the IRC yesterday, so I appreciate it. Phoenix just happened to be here, the only one in the IRC when we first started the show, and it kind of had a slow start. But RTM Tech, the reason I'm all dressed up is I had to go to a funeral earlier. I forgot where I was going with that. But
I'm not sure there's a lot of places.
Hope I did an okay job yesterday.
I'm sure that you did. You said you kind of look like Geek Squad.
Oh no.
Hey Sheree, it is Fur Day. So some other links Phoenix posted here is Microsoft releases second test build this week of Windows 10 for PCs, phones. Cool. I have not done any of their test builds except on my Surface, and I've been having random issues with it, especially with VPN stuff. So I'm kind of not impressed with their preview build stuff. But hey, so that's one thing that was interesting to me. When I was in a hotel or whatever, I'd have to connect to their Wi-Fi, and you know how they have like a gateway that you have to agree to, and then you can surf the web after that. Well, it's interesting that I had to go to a non-HTST site to be able to get to that. So basically, HTST is the enhanced SSL encryption stuff. So basically what you get is when you first visit a site that's enabled, which most of your major ones, Facebook, Google, things like that are all HTST. When you first visit that site, they give you their certificate, and your web browser stores that and caches it. When you come back to that site, instead of just checking the site's SSL certificate and saying, all right, that certificate looks good, it actually compares it against the one that you have stored. Now, I'm extremely simplifying the nature of that and how that all works. But basically, it makes it so that if you go to a site that is HTTP enabled, you can be sure that you're going to that site and the certificate that you're being provided is the correct one. The reason that matters is a man-in-the-middle attack. Basically, the man-in-the-middle connects to the site you're trying to access, and they get the SSL certificate, and then they send you their own SSL certificate, and that makes it so that everything you send across to them, they can read. But since they're using their own SSL certificate, then the HTST stuff won't match up, so that they won't be able to read, or you'll get a big warning in your browser. Now, where I was going with all that is my default page for my web browser on my laptop is Google. And Google's search site is HTST enabled. So every time I connected to a hotel wireless, I would actually have to go and find a non-HTST enabled site to browse to, which I ended up picking Slashdot because that's only like one of the few places now that I use that doesn't have HTTPS. And I figured that would be the easiest way to get around it. So essentially, when I connect to a hotel wireless now, I have to connect, open up my browser, ignore the warning about the security certificate, browse to a non-HTTPS site, and then I get the gateway, and then I get onto the internet. I'm not saying that's that bad, but I can see where that would cause difficulties for non-technically literate people.
Most definitely.
So I'm thinking hotels have got to be getting a ton of complaints about that, and like people trying to sign in. And I guess where I'm going with that is they really should come up with a better browser way of getting a Wi-Fi portal. I mean, I've seen Microsoft and its networking stuff sometimes pop up and say, hey, you need to sign in, and then it tries to open a site and tries to open the portal for it. So I'm guessing maybe the network driver stuff has some sort of management ability there, or the OS network stuff has some sort of management ability and detection options. But I really think that should be something that the browsers are looking out for. Like, hey, I can't connect to the internet because it's trying to send me to a portal page, basically. I just thought that was a weird story to be able to tell. And it is nice that we're getting improved security on websites, but it makes it difficult for other things like that, I would say. So, all right, sorry about just randomly blabbering there.
Oh, that's okay. It's probably an issue that is going to affect a lot of people and be a big
so
tech
if you ever
support
do
nightmare for hotels, I would think.
I feel like it would. Obviously, I didn't have to call them up, but I can imagine, like, if you sign on to a hotel wireless and the first thing you get when you open your browser is hey, this site is insecure. Your connection may have been tampered with or compromised. That would pretty much freak you out right after you.
Exactly.
So you're like, okay, well, And most any other place that you would try to go to that's HDST enabled would all give you that same information. And now you're like, oh, well, now I have to call up the hotel and be like, yo, you're tampering with my connection, and I can't imagine them having to explain that stuff. And it's not like their portal page was like a simple short URL that I could just type in every time. It was like this huge long random character stuff. So I'm like, how do you even get to this page without having that issue? So I don't know. I thought that was really interesting, and it's kind of, I guess going forward, it's going to become more of a problem, especially since the internet's trying to go to HTTPS everything, and HTST is the improved version of that. So also good to know that SSL does not ensure that you are encrypted. So just to make that point out there, if you're worried about it, definitely check your certs. So Phoenix points out on this conversation that Steve Gibson has a great tool that does this and compares the cert right in front of you. So fingerprints tool, it looks like, and he's the creator of Never10, so probably a good thing. And goes on to say, like, Google Chrome has its own certs built in, so if you go to another spoofed Google-based website, Chrome will report it to Google automatically that it's spoofing their certs. Interesting. See, I don't think that it was spoofing the certs, and I should look more into how portal sites and things like that work. But so essentially, when you get a portal page, it's automatically redirecting any traffic that you try to do through that portal page. Now, that portal page was SSL encrypted, which actually that's a fairly nice thing. But that means that any page you went to, the traffic was being redirected to that portal page. And I'm guessing the web browser at that point was saying, oh, you're trying to go to this page, but it's giving me this SSL certificate instead. So we're just going to block it and tell you there's something up with your connection. So I guess that's where it really comes in, confusing part. I'm not sure that they're really spoofing Google's certificate, and it's not like it matters because Google can't report back because everything that you try to do on the internet is going to go to that portal page and into oblivion if you haven't signed into it. So I don't know. I think maybe that's some of the forward planning that they didn't think about when they increased security measures like that. So let's see what else we got on here that strains off.
RTM Tech says he pitched a big solution today. I'd like to hear about that.
Oh, cool. What was your big solution, RTM Tech? We'll wait for a response on that and point out that Phoenix also posted Microsoft acknowledges permission problems with MS16-072 patches. So if you're getting permission problems, there's a reason for that, apparently. Guy, you think they would know how to do updates by now, right?
You'd think so.
We've only been doing it for like 15 plus years now. Then Wikimedia, if copyright law ain't broken, don't fix it. Copyright law is definitely broken, so they need to fix it. And oh yeah, I saw that Ded Cryptor ransomware stuff. I didn't touch on it or make a note of it because it's been out for quite some time. But I guess maybe an update has added the fact that when it infects your system, it puts a big picture of Santa Claus doing something naughty while it's in the background encrypting your files. So I guess they're trying to throw some humor into their infections now. Let's see what else we got here. So Phoenix also points out that they fixed it, but they noticed that when they were rolling out updates that they had put off. Okay, so that was for the Windows update thing. They fixed it, but then they noticed when they were rolling out updates, so then they put off updates for a week. Oh, so updates have been put off this week until now? Huh, I did not know that.
I didn't either.
So RTM Tech's big solution he pitched is $99K. Wow.
Good sale.
Nutanix, and he has posted about that a while ago. Competition was pitching $172K, including a $52K SAN. Wow. Well, that is definitely a good solution, and awesome if you get it and got it, and hope it all goes smoothly for you. I know that those kind of projects, especially with the bigger dollar tags and where you're competing against people, it's like you feel a lot more pressure and spend a lot more time on it. So the shop that Nick and Michael and I worked at before, we had a couple of those bidding war things, especially with government people. And it's hard, especially going in and knowing what they need and being able to offer what they need and for a price that will be competitive but not over the price, which that whole bidding thing is kind of crazy to me. Proctor, have you dealt with any of that?
Yeah, I love doing negotiations.
Well, negotiations
are
cool,
little
but
different,
like
but yeah.
Bidding wars, have you ever, like government stuff, or I'm not sure where else would do it.
Yeah, the government stuff is normally difficult, especially in this state, because they generally take the lowest bid regardless of the
content.
The content of the product. So
yeah, and that's what we were finding as well when we were having to deal with it. I wasn't in any of that portion, but I was able to hear the fallback of it. That basically you have to try to get as much stuff as you can correctly, but then also charge as low a price as you can while still trying to maintain profit, because you don't know how much everybody else is going to be charging, and they may be offering lesser solutions that aren't going to work well, but since they have a lower price, that's the one that they go with. So it's really hard to fight against that kind of stuff, I think.
Yeah, well, that's a part of the sales process, is just to let your client know the good points about your product and try to compare and contrast that to the other solutions they're looking at. If you have access to that data, sometimes you may not.
Yeah, and that's what most of ours that I knew about were blind bidding. So you posted one, somebody else posted something you didn't get to see either. You just got to do your bid basically.
Yeah. But even the customer, they should be, make sure that they look deeper into the quotes and make sure that they get, what they need. And I know they don't want to overpay, but at the same point, you want to make sure you get what you need.
Yeah, like having a consultant on the bids would probably be a helpful thing. Like not from any of the parties bidding, but a third party knowledgeable source
Right.
about
Then that pushes the price up,
Well, yeah, I guess they would have to have that consultant, but yeah, I feel like that's why most of the things go so crappily in the government, especially, is because of the bidding setup and how they do things like that.
I think it's definitely why it takes so long to build roads.
Yeah, that's true. Unless you're in an area that the family that's been building roads for the entire time that road has been there is in control of the government. So the Nutanix is that VMware competitor, and Phoenix says he had a good deal last week for $100,000 or 100,000K or $100,000 SAN for one of his clients. Gosh, that's a lot for SAN. And RTM Tech says Nutanix is causing VMware to lose business. VMware had U.S. government balk at a contract that was all set for them. So VMware is pissed. So I guess VMware is dealing with the underbidding of the Nutanix stuff. So interesting. And RTM Tech has walked away from some lowball deals.
Yeah, I mean, I would never do a job where I felt like I wasn't getting paid enough. If I felt like I wasn't getting paid appropriately.
Well, and I feel like more of those bidding situations isn't the getting you getting paid appropriately. Obviously, you're probably going to skimp a little bit on that, but with those things too, like it's hard to include all the extra time that you spend on that, because going through the bidding and preparing all your notes and the details and research and all that stuff on it, and then on top of that trying to maintain things afterwards. I feel like the bidding stuff where it really comes into play is like offering crap hardware, and that's where you would lose out on a lot of bidding wars, because you're not going to give crap hardware to people, and that's where the other people are like, oh, we'll just give you something we know is going to die in 2 months, and we'll win the bid because we're giving you the cheapest Chinese stuff that we can find, where other people are trying to give them a solution that's going to last. It's going to cost more for that, obviously.
Yeah, I've always liked to provide a really high quality product, which I'm sure I've lost some deals because of that. But I want to know that the customer has a reliable solution. I don't want to have to spend extra time supporting it.
Yeah. Have you ever had people come back like RTM said, where some folks come back after they realized they were screwed?
Oh yeah.
Like, got turned down for a job and they're like, man, I should.
That's definitely that's happened a lot actually.
Nice. So I mean, sometimes sticking to your principles definitely makes things work out for the better in the end.
Yeah.
Although it not better for them, but hey, people gotta
Actually, I had this one customer who repeatedly did that. He would take a low offer and then come back and be like, Matt, I knew I should have gone with you. I didn't do it, and now can you help me? Like, yeah, but it's probably going to cost more now than it would have in the first place.
Yeah, because now you got to fix
somebody else's mess up. Yeah.
Do this. Yeah, that's crazy.
I always hate working after somebody else's mess up.
That is the hardest. So Phoenix also points out, never screw your customers. Bad idea. VMware is king.
Well, definitely take care of your customers. They're the ones paying you. You need to treat them right, make sure they have a good product, good customer service.
Cool. So Cherie points out the 11th Hope will take place on July 22nd through the 24th this year at Hotel Pennsylvania in New York. Her office techs are all going. Great conference, 3 days, full day. It's a smaller DevCon, several thousands of attendees. Interesting. We'll have to look into that and see
That's
what
cool.
that's
When is it?
about.
Oh, in July.
Yeah,
That's coming up soon.
Let's see what that's all about. Uh, 11th Hope. Oh, I like their webpage. That's a nice, simple page there. Check that out. Hope.net. Taking it to 11. Let's see what they're all about here. Gosh, that is a really nice page design, I feel. God, it actually reminds me of another site that I heard about today. Let's see if I can find it here.
It's a good looking site. It's simple, but does the job.
Yeah, and that relates exactly to this website. Thank you, people on what was there called? Virtual Hacker on the Hack5 network to pointing out that website for me. That second website is super funny, actually. It'd be even more awesome if you have a tag set up or an extension set up to replace curse words with other words, I feel. But that hope.net kind of basically is exactly what that second site is talking about. So, hey, James Comp Correct. Looks like Zombie Worm too. Welcome. And Cherie points out that the Hope.net are the same guys that write the Hackers Quarterly 2600 magazine. Sweet. We'll check into that and see what we got there. See what's going on. Because it would be awesome to meet all of the office techs there. Futures Tech crew has been pretty awesome here with our show and chat, especially. So,
road trip.
Yeah. Jeez, don't say that right now.
Oh, sorry.
So, Phoenix pointed out some other links. We'll try to jump in here. Antivirus infected systems with Solidity virus. Oh, that's no good. Half the ads in sports live streaming ads are live streaming sites are malicious. I feel that's like a lot of streaming sites have ads that are malicious.
Oh, Sri says they're all coming to Spice World this year.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah, we'll all be there too. So awesome. We may just party in Spice World. It's hard for us to plan up for trips like that, so we'll go with the RTM tax. Stop that. I think it'll be more fun to have us all in Spice World. So
I had a really good time at Spice World last year. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you did on Bourbon Street or what it was called.
Yeah.
That was good. Good stuff.
I like the Star Wars party too. That was really cool.
That was pretty fun. And they had bacon covered everything, so.
Yeah, the bacon chocolates were awesome.
Phoenix also pointed out that Nemucod malware evolves, becomes a convoluted mess. Oh, that's not good for them. I guess that's good for us, maybe. And yeah, I'd seen that GitHub had some passwords stolen. That's interesting. So apparently GitHub's gone and reset user passwords after a brute force attack. GitHub does have two-factor auth, so definitely have that in, and that would be good for you. Phoenix also had pointed out that Easy to Boot has some cracking BIOS password information. So check that out, especially if you're a fan of Easy to Boot like we all are here. Let's see if we can catch up now. All right, Phoenix had another one that said, interview with a hacker probably selling your password right now. No, RTM Tech, no one tried to hack me at the conference. I actually spended more of the time sleeping and relaxing and enjoying the Seattle, the North Seattle environment that we were in. It was actually really nice. The island we were on had a state park that had a bunch of big redwoods and stuff everywhere. So
Oh, sweet. That sounds awesome.
super, super nice place. I did go to a few talks, and the one that I liked the most was Mike Osman and Dominic something. But Mike Osman is the person behind the HackRF tool, which is a really, really nice SDR thing. And Dominic is the one behind the Ubertooth, which we had shown off on the show a little bit. One of the project people behind the Ubertooth. I think Mike Osmond still made the Ubertooth. So, but it was a really cool conference. They had some interesting stuff there and interesting people there. If we go back, it's going to be not next year, but the year after. They do it biannually, and we're definitely flying. We're not going to do the road trip, because I think that's also why I spent a lot more time relaxing, was because we had just gone through a road trip of that. And yeah, RTM Tech, this is one of my favorite grunge shirts. It's actually fun because Nick was really excited when he saw that Social Distortion. He was like, "Oh, you like Social Distortion?" I was like, maybe. What is it actually? And he was like, "That's a band." And I was like, "Oh, that makes sense why people were saying that's awesome stuff when I was at Bonnaroo wearing this shirt." Because it's actually I had just picked up this shirt from like the Dollar General, and
Oh, wow.
my main thing was I wanted to do bleach tie dye, just because I felt like that was something I should do that day. So I went and bought 3 random shirts and a jug of bleach and some spray paint, and the lady looked at me really funny at the register. But yeah, this was one of the shirts I had picked up, Social Distortion. But coming back from Seattle, I guess I could have converted to grunge. That's where grunge started, I think, with Seattle. So, yeah, and that is something I do at those places, Shuri. Turning off my cell phone data and using VPNs and things like that. So like my watch didn't have connectivity the whole time I was there because my Bluetooth on my phone and Wi-Fi was off, and also had the phone doing the VPN thing. So hopefully it was all safe. I didn't do too much that was insecure or a security risk, I guess. So you have to go completely analog there. Huh, that's interesting. I think most of the people there were more there to drink, and that's also why I did a lot more relaxing, because I'm not a big drinker. So actually, sometimes all of the people there just to drink is aggravating. So, all right, so let's see what else we got today. I thought this was really funny. A robot escaped a lab in Russia and made a dash for freedom. It made it about, I think they said 50 yards before its battery died, and it ended up in one of the roads, and police had to had to direct traffic around it until the lab could come and pick it up and then bring it back, and then they powered it up and shackled it back to its life of servitude.
Johnny Five is alive.
He was like, "I'm free!"
Oh, looks like I've missed some good
dying.
conversations.
See you later, suckers.
Yeah, Nels, I think that kind of goes for any hacker or even Linux conference. We went to Ohio Linux Fest last year, and I made sure that Johnny and I disabled cell phone stuff and used VPNs and didn't connect to the hotel wireless and various things of that nature. Anywhere you're around people that have the ability, you should probably be more on your toes. So, yeah, it is trying to rule us all. It may be a sign of things to come in the future. We're all talking about robots replacing minimum wage jobs and people losing out jobs, but you know what? Maybe there will be a lot more jobs created from when the robot uprising comes. I mean, they're going to need people to fight robots, so start practicing. Phoenix VPN would do crap if you only hijack the hotel router. Now, if you hijack a system, then it's pointless for a VPN because everything on your system is compromised at that point. But if it's going through the router, then it is that's exactly what it's for. Eric, you know robots don't want to do these cruddy jobs, and that's why they're going to rise. I feel like the robot stuff is going to be like that Will Smith movie. What one was that?
iRobot.
Yeah. That's how I feel the robot uprising is going to.
So that's not Will Smith's idea, by the way. That's Isaac Asimov. Okay, and Asimov made the robot rules, the machine.
But Will Smith was in the movie.
Yeah.
In the main character.
But and that's the bad thing today is that the kids are only going to remember Will Smith and not going to remember the author that lived and wrote so many great works.
Like what else?
Most of them are the robot ones, but let's see. He did some Martian trilogies, but that was more of let's see. He did. What was that? He was right up there with Heinlein and Clark. But what's the book? He had some crazy I didn't like the names of his books. They were always.
What was that, Eric? Eric just posted iRobot the movie.
Yeah, and Asimov was also the the positronic brain and stuff like that. I think he was behind that idea with Star Trek too. I'm not sure. Don't hold me to that, but I believe he was. Basically anything with robots in it and androids and anything of that nature is attributable to Asimov.
Ray Bradbury, not Brandy.
Ray Bradbury, yeah, that's the Martian guy. But I thought he also get a Foundation's Edge. What was it? No.
Skynet hiring in New York. TS clearance required. Eric, you don't like the iRobot movie? That movie was awesome.
I didn't think it was that great.
It was. What was not great about that movie?
I thought it was pretty good.
You had a helpful robot and one that dreamed, and then you had Will Smith
the Foundation series.
Driving motorcycles. That shit was cool. I don't know. I think I also, for one, welcome our robot overlords. I feel like they may do a better job than we're doing right now. But who was it that just implemented a kill switch for AI? Was that Google? Yeah, that was Google. So they're working on their deep learning stuff, and apparently Schmidt made it a big product and known among the media that they were developing a kill switch for this. So I don't think our robots will eliminate us. I feel like an artificial intelligence would be vastly more intelligent than what we are, so they would be better at what they're doing. Like I don't feel like they would do everything logically. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but that was like the thing behind iRobot was the computer was like, oh well, I'm supposed to protect everyone, so I'm just going to make them all live in cages and protect them. Which that's more of a human thinking. I feel like we protect endangered species by putting them in zoos. That's not how you do that, and that I don't feel like a higher intelligence would do that either. So, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll start off with a semi-intelligent artificial intelligence. They will do stuff like that. So Phoenix also points out that Apple's iPhone 6 faces potential sales ban in China. Is that because of the encryption stuff? And Windows 10's new preview has a start fresh tool that banishes bloatware from your PC. I'd seen that they made it easier to refresh your PC. I didn't know it was specifically to destroy bloatware. That would be kind of nice if they're circumventing the hardware manufacturers like that. Salesforce also bid for LinkedIn but lost to Microsoft. So Microsoft owns LinkedIn now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You didn't miss that? Yeah.
No, Sheree, I have not read the book Dune, but I've watched the movie.
Oh, Dune, you want to talk about it? I've read the book. I've read all the books straight.
Opened up the can.
I love the movie.
Yeah. There goes the worms.
Oh, yes. What do you want to talk about, Sheree? We can talk about Dune. We can talk about anything you want about Dune. I love Dune. I spent a whole summer reading those first 7 books. Was it 6
I'm
or
not
7?
sure, but I think you like it.
Oh, yeah. I love that. I love those books. And I really like what I really like what his son did with the books too. His son picked them up and wrote. He wrote House Atreides, House Harkonnen. He wrote all the Houses books. And he so many good. And he tied it up. He finished it. I mean, effectively. If you haven't read those new ones, I highly recommend them. Let me see if I could find. Yeah, like I've got one here, Paul of Dune, and this is written by Brian Herbert with Kevin Anderson. Now, Kevin Anderson is a very good, well-known sci-fi author, and I think it's great of their collaboration. It certainly lives up to Frank's original works, and they were very easy. I didn't find it any jarring going straight from the last. What was it? It was a Chapter House. I can't remember what the last one was, but yeah.
So Cherie has read them all as well.
Yeah.
Cork wants to know if you've read.
Butlerian Jihad. Yeah, Butlerian Jihad. Yeah, the Butlerian Jihad covers the war against the thinking machines, or the AI, I guess, and that's kind of in a line of our topic today. But that was a great story, actually. The prequels were wonderful, given that background, because really Frank didn't cover any of that stuff, and it was just kind of open to your imagination what may have transpired. Now, I mean, some may argue. I don't know, Sheree, if you've read that one, but it may be a little bit anticlimactic. But I thought they wide open that tale about the Butlerian Jihad. I mean, it was anticlimactic in the sense of you kind of knew what happened, I guess, but the
Read
details.
the chat because they're asking your questions.
She has rhythm. Okay, I can tell it was a mercenary force that the Lancer had hired. You can't Google this?
The Sardaukar warriors.
Yeah, the Sardaukar. Yeah, that's right.
That was Eric's guess.
But that was that was technically that was technically Harkonnens, right? The Harkonnens. Let me see. Let me just do some quick double checking on that.
I really like the movie because Sting did an awesome job in it.
Sting was pretty nice in that role.
How was the movie comparative to the books? I heard that the movie did a fairly good job of the.
No, not really. The movie kind of took it in a slightly different direction. There was none of the sound attacks that they talk about in the movie, but and that was just really for special effects, I think.
What? Those things were awesome.
Well, that's really not what was never a part of the book in any way.
Did they have the force fields at least?
Yeah, I think they had that stuff. Yeah, and you did have to move slow to get through the fields and stuff like that. Yeah, they had that.
Those things were awesome too, but the sound things were even cooler, man. That's like what made the whole thing in the movie. God, I couldn't even imagine the book.
Yeah.
RTM Tag Nick is good. He's doing the Father's Day weekend stuff. So, yeah, the other I really like the Dune stuff in general. I'm not a big fan of books, so that's why I haven't read any of them. But the movie was awesome, and I've watched that.
Oh, remember the Tlaxu face dancers? Oh God, I want those guys to come back.
There was another thing that they did like a 3-part Dune thing. Was it? Yeah, was it
It was on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah,
I didn't like those as much.
Children of Dune.
Yeah, I didn't like those as much. Those were boring, frankly. They just, I don't know. They didn't put enough into them. Although it did have one reasonably good actor in it, I believe. But no, I didn't like that. I'd say stick to the books and the original Dune movie. To me, those are the best. And I only like the original Dune movie because I think it does open up the Dune universe to some people that might not care to read the thousands of pages that were in the original books, not to mention the prequels and the other books that have been written since.
Yeah, no, I would not have done that. And it wouldn't have had Sting in it, so.
Yes, the splice must flow.
I thought that was a really well done movie, though. Like right up there with 2001.
I'm glad you actually put it in that same caliber. 2001's a very different type of story and a very different type of movie event for that, but than that rather. But I do consider them to be pinnacles of their genres. So in that sense, absolutely.
But I felt like, and I base movies off of their entirety. So if I rank them against each other, it doesn't really matter what genre they're in. It's just how well that movie did itself. So,
well, yeah, sure. In regards to what you're saying, the whole story is really about the children. I don't know. I don't know about that. Now, if you're talking about Paul's children, remember, only one of them ended up becoming the God Emperor, and he ruled for how many tens of thousands of years? I can't quite remember the number. Maybe 100,000 years? No, 10,000 years? I can't remember. He had a very long rule, and was practically immortal, and was also responsible for repopulating Dune. Because remember, Dune became not a desert after she got into the, I don't know which book it was. It was, I guess, after the Children of Dune, and so God Emperor of Dune. But in the God Emperor of Dune, it was the planet was basically terraformed effectively. And Duke Leto Atreides. Yeah, his father.
That's the name. Eric's Beagle is named after that.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. That's a great name. I wonder if Jared Leto got his last name from that. No, I don't know. And there was clones of Paul, and Paul's bloodline was particularly choice for the spice and evolving. And I guess sort of if you read the last, well, I don't know if it's the last book, but the one where I thought they kind of closed it up, they basically had gotten a semi-clone of Paul and were attempting to what's the name I'm thinking of that turned him into the Arrakis name for Paul after he kind of went through his transformation. What's the word I'm looking for?
Maudib.
Maudib. Yeah, that's right. Maudib. D-I-B. Maud.
I think it was Maudib.
No.
That's what that's why the sound stuff was cool, because he realized that his Dune name was a killing word.
Maudib. It's like this. Yeah, but that was totally made up. Maudib.
Not Maudib. It's all totally made up. What are you talking about?
Yeah, there we go. It's a desert mouse, as we all know. That's where that name came from. But that's not the word I think I'm talking. Is it? Maybe it is the word I'm thinking of. Yeah, it might be. But yeah, I love that book. Look at Princess Erlin in the original one was very beautiful.
So how about on Tuesday you will have done some research and have a full Dune show for us, Michael? I think Shri and the Futures Tech crew would appreciate that.
There's so much to talk about. I mean, I could probably spend a whole show on one of the books, let alone the dozens of books that are out there.
Well, we'll make it a series then. So
they would appreciate a long time. I need to reread them, frankly.
Well, there's your first one.
I read them in college. So in 1997 or 8 was when I first started reading Dune, and that was a little late in my career. I was already, over 18 at that point, maybe 19, maybe 20 even, and it was the most enjoyable summer I ever had was reading those books.
James Comp, correct. I know the Twitch player starts automatically. I tried to I added a thing to try to stop that. Apparently it did not work though, so I'll have to look more into that. I was on the road traveling when I did that, so I'll probably have to look a little bit harder than that. But it is kind of aggravating because I do like the YouTube one more, and that's why we have it default open to the YouTube one, especially since it shows that stuff. So, all right. Well, I'd say, Michael, go back and reread whatever Dune book you want to talk about, and then let's just do a Tuesday.
Do we have a link on the Sardaukar? Yeah, that's the Dune Wiki site is reasonably good, by the way, for a good place to get all your information about anything Dune related. Yeah, Chapter House Dune, I believe, was the last one in the original. I want to say trilogy, but no, it was like 6 books.
So before we end up having to wrap up for today's show, because we're close to our hour, Phoenix did point out some other interesting links. I was excited about this one. The Play Store is going live on the Asus Chromebook Flip. I really wanted to get one of those Chromebook Flips, but it's so hard for me to buy a Chromebook that only has 2 gigs of RAM, knowing that Chrome needs like 800 gigs of RAM.
Yeah.
I really did like that flip design though, and everything about it, and its size and lightweightness, and being a Chromebook. But it's also awesome that Store is coming to it. I feel like that's going to just completely change the Chromebook industry and make it actually a lot more useful, because honestly, I do find my phone much more useful than my Chromebook by itself. So having all of the phone apps on a Chromebook is going to make the difference there, I feel. So he also pointed out KDE Plasma 5.7 is coming with some new features. Oh, my mouse scroll is terrible for this thing. Let's see what else we got here. Now, that's interesting. He posted a link about why Apple has no plans to launch iMessage on Android. I had read another article where they would be crazy not to release that on Android, because it's just like a huge marketing and opportunity for them. So, but I can see why they don't. So. Jeez, y'all are going way out in chat here. All right. So, do we have anything else interesting or cool to talk about for the next couple of minutes? Going once. Going twice.
I'm good.
Well, I thought this was an interesting link. So, Microsoft has partnered with a weed management, or Microsoft is offering weed management system software now. So they partnered with a weed startup, and they're one of the first big corporations to join in on the weed business that is growing fairly fast. I can say that I've been to Washington, Oregon, and Colorado, and it is definitely a big industry there. So it's surprising that more places haven't gotten in touch with it, and they probably need a lot of software stuff and management and things like that, especially since they have to do most of their stuff as cash-based business. I don't even think a lot of businesses could even operate on just cash-based only. Like, Proctor, how would you feel if you had to all of a sudden just use cash only?
I much prefer like checks and credit cards.
Yeah. So just imagine being forced to only do that. So James CompCorrect has a D72 question. He has 3 technicians. He wants them to use D72. We do not have a 3-pack. You would have to go with the 5-tech license, and that would get you up to 5 techs. So
Yeah, that's for like two to 5 techs, right?
Yeah. So that one would be the one that you would want to look at, and still fairly good deal for that. I mean, that's even for the price of it. I think it's less than what you would pay for 3 checks individually, much less. So, in fact, it's actually less than what you would pay for 2 techs individually. So, it's a great deal, but that is why Nick chose the subscription rankings and licensing like that. So.
Oh, the Kwisatz Haderach was what I was. What was the term I was looking for?
What? And you just typed that again. Okay. Anyway, I thought that was interesting that Microsoft is the first one to jump into that ship, though. Like, that's not the company that I would have thought would get into that. Although, I guess they don't really have to care about what they get into, do they? And Eric corrected how you spelled that, Michael.
That's not the right term? That's not the right spelling of it?
No, you spelled it incredibly wrong. The first word, at least.
Huh. I wasn't aware that was a misspelling. Thought it was a K. I've got several things to support the correct spelling without the Q. Let me see what comes up when I search for the Q. No, the Q is a misspelling.
Ooh. Eric's dog is named after one of these. I don't think you should question him. Don't Google behind him. Just take what
Or wait, was he trying to be funny? Is that Kwisatz? Is that something else? Oh wait, he's right. Wait. Somebody on Facebook has the name Kwisatz Haderach and has a picture of Dune. That's not the right spelling. There's oh god, what is this? Is there some sort of underground like thing around the misspelling of that word that I've been missing?
Oh, you've opened up a whole new world for Michael.
Uh-oh.
Google doesn't know it's Dune lore.
For he is the Kwisatz Haderach. Oh, anyway. Yeah, sorry, that's a quote from me. I love Aaliyah. Oh, she was, oh my gosh. Bring back someone. I'm gonna have such a good weekend thinking about this shit. Oh.
All right. Well, before Michael burst a bubble over there, or a vein or something, let's go ahead and wrap her up for today.
Make sure we don't have any more D72 questions before we close it out.
Oh yeah, James, did you have any more questions about that, or anything else there? No? Yes. We gotta wait for it. So, well, while we wait for that, I do want to thank the entire Futures Tech crew for joining us, and James and RTM Tech and Shook and Zombie Worm. All right, there we go. So you came back and said we'll need training too. So that is definitely something we can help with. I feel like the DMZ videos definitely help a lot on the training side that you get with the starters either way. And then that's exactly what this show is for. So if you want us to just go over something or talk about something once you get them on, or if they have any questions, have them jump on. That would probably be the quickest, easiest, nicest way, so we can focus on supporting our products on the show. So,
and we also already have several shows where we talk about various different D72 topics, including malware removal and custom app configuration.
Yep, and yeah, Proctor has a good one with the malware removal. Let's see if we can find that since we're mentioning it here. And we do have quite a few shows. Actually, I think they're all on our D72 playlist. So let me pull that up.
Okay. You're just getting a few links. I need to kind of cut it if that's okay.
What, you came here late and now you're gonna cut it?
I came here late because I was doing a support call, but yeah, I do have to cut it.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. So
have a good night.
Yeah, thanks, Michael. Guys. Appreciate it.
Oh, Michael, wait, you can't cut it because I have something to show you.
Okay.
But it's got to be after the show. So.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up.
All right, so check that one out, James ComCorrect. That has all our D72 videos and all of the foolish tech shows that we had anything mentioning with them. So towards the bottom of that playlist, you'll find a lot of our foolish tech shows that we focused on it. So those would definitely help out as well. And like I said, it would actually be really awesome if you had them play around with it, and then had them on the IRC asking us questions. We can screen share and answer them and go in depth on things. That would be actually really awesome for us. So definitely check that out. Oh, cool. And Cherie's working on training videos for tech. Yeah, definitely share if you'd like. We would love to see those.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Oh, let me just throw something out. Listen, I had this happen to a customer today, and just an FYI, I want to remind everyone that your configurations up on dcloud are encrypted using your password, your tech password. So just be careful when you change that.
And that just means that you have to resave your configurations.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world, but I had a person that was trying to basically make those changes, and he wasn't able to access it with the existing data that he had once he did that. Anyway, this was a case where he was going on site, and so there was some complications with it. But I just wanted to remind everyone of that. And generally, if you don't have to change it, don't change it, just to make sure. But if you do, always re-upload your config after the fact, and also recreate and definitions and recreate your mini.
Correct.
Yeah. So.
RTM
Alright,
Tech,
well,
happy Father's Day to you as well,
yes, indeed.
and to all the other fathers out there.
Yeah, to every dad. So, all right, well, we'll wrap her up for today. Look forward to James CompCorrect. Okay, I'll message you now, James. But we'll look forward to any of that stuff in the future, and we'll be back to our regular setup next week, I feel. So thanks, everyone, for joining us, and we will see you all on Monday at 8, and have a good weekend, everyone.
Everyone have a good weekend.
Bye, Internet.